Good morning, good evening, or good night, wherever in the world you are. Hope you're doing well, and welcome to this random stream, this Forest Forum. It was going to be a preview. Preview's one word, isn't it? A preview video of Forest versus Brentford. But, of course, we have news on our marquee signing. Now, I don't think it's anything more than rumors, but we're going to get into it because Jesse Lingard may be leaving Forest, and we need to cover that off. You guys asked for them. I've had so many messages asking for that same panel. You wanted Ez without the camera, so you get Ranty Ez. You wanted Radzi, he's here as well, and Forest Ant is Forest Ant, and he's late, but he may be jumping on as well. Boys, how are you? How are you, Ez? Are you feeling any better, mate?
I'd love to say I was, mate. I'd really love to say I was, but I'm really not. I'd be interested to see if anyone in the chat's had this COVID cold that's just not going away, mate. So no, I'm not feeling much better. But fingers crossed, mate. I've got a chance. I've got a chance of making it tomorrow.
Guys, if you're gonna see us before the game tomorrow and Ez is there,
yeah, wear a mask.
Turn around. Just turn around.
If I'm there, wear a mask.
Style, man. Yeah. So you health-wise, you good, Rad?
I'm good, yeah.
Yeah, you him. Good.
Hopefully not.
Good. How are things in general? Looking very fresh with your chop, mate.
Yeah, I am actually. I had a haircut recently, so that's
good man. Come on. You look a little older. Most people look younger when they get a haircut. You look like you've put on 2 or 3 years with it, mate. All right, we're gonna get started without his lordship. We'll get him on whenever he gets on. Let me say some quick hellos in the chat. Say hi in the chat if you are in there. We'll get you out very quickly, and then we'll jump into a few of the stories and, of course, the game tomorrow. Pete, how you doing? He wants not just Lingard gone, but Cooper as well. Dino, how are ya? Here we go. Stop inflating their heads, man. Who they want on Hope Ez is better.
Oh, yes.
He wants Dave, Ez, and Rads. Dave, Ez, Ant, and Rads. Yeah, Dave, I didn't reach out. You know, this is the last minute. I will get Dave on maybe next week. I'll see what he's up to as well. Rufus, how are you? Get rid of Lingard. He's shite. I don't think there's going to be many tears if this happens. Strap Self-Saying could be a rough ride. How are you, Mark? Good to see you. Chris, good to see you. Oh, he wants Lodi gone with him as well. Wolverine seeing an odd thing or two on Twitter suggesting that Lodi might be returning to Atletico in January. Would love for him to stay, but what are your thoughts? I haven't seen any. Have either of you seen that?
Not really.
I have.
Have you guys?
Kind of, yeah.
No, I've not heard that rumor, to be fair. That's the first time I've heard it.
Oh, I want him to stay. I'm going to defend my boy, man. I'm going to defend my boy. Pete, how are you? Saying bye-bye to Lingard. Adam, good to see you. How are you? Eliza, the Godfather himself. How are you, Red Dad? Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. If you see Ez run. Dexinio. Love that name. How are you, mate? Adam, let's hope so. And yeah, we do still. You got to get your dad on, man. We'll get it sorted out. It's Forest Anton. He should be, but this is Forest Ant. His head, since like all you guys have been leaving nice comments about him, yeah, he now wants to be fashionably late, make a bit of an entrance. So we need to start cussing him down a bit. And he's not speaking to any of us after we had that kickoff with about the value of the Arsenal players. Jolly Ollie, good to see you. Chris, good to see you. Misky, good to see you. Bobby, good to see you as well. Richard, hope you're well. Mr. Chris, good to see you. The Walking Boom, he's sick as well. Another violin for him as well. Hope you're feeling better soon, mate.
Bless him. Well, soon, mate.
Mark saying he saw Rads on Quality stream earlier. Rads is getting around, isn't he?
Yeah.
And then finally, Adam, good to see you. We're all going to have a party when Lingard goes. Yeah, we'll do a TikTok. I'll do a TikTok live stream. Okay, before we get started, before we do anything, guys, firstly, yeah, I'm disappointed with you guys in the chat. I have to say, and you know me, I'm always going to speak honestly. We still haven't got Rads to over 4K. Rads, give us the official number right now.
I should know this, really, shouldn't I? I should be checking it all the time.
You're famous now, mate. You know it's gonna numbers.
The official number is 3,932.
932. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, right, if Rads isn't at 3950 by the end of the stream and isn't by 4K by the end of the match tomorrow, I'm going to delete my channel in protest. Wait, actually,
Yeah, we'll
that'll probably
boycott.
incentivize them to
Sure.
unsub from you, man, won't it? But no, guys, please, look, all you got to do, it's in the title. I've literally put it in the title. It's a hyperlink. Just click it. I know a lot of you are subscribed, but for those of you who are not, please get him to 4K, man. Come on. You guys are starting to embarrass us here. Please get him to 4K. And, of course, hit the like button as well. Ez, don't worry about Ez. While he's sick, he's doing nothing on his channel.
I don't know. I don't worry about me, mate. Yeah, no.
We'll rebuild him up once he gets going. All right, boys. Shall we get into? Shall we start talking? And I'm sure the crowd. Well, actually, just before, what I'm gonna do, guys, I'm gonna do something interesting. I don't know if this is gonna work. Okay, so I'm gonna start a Q&A in the chat. Okay. Now, you guys, if you click on that Q&A thing, I think it should come up in your chat. Get your questions in there, and then towards the end of the stream, and who you want to ask the question to, and then I'll ask the panelists as well those questions. So there is a Q&A option in there, so go hit that. If you got any questions, get them in, and we'll come back to them. Someone remind me at the end of it, okay? So, Dean, sub to Ez now. Thank you so much, Dean. You're absolute legends. Now, and you already subbed to Rads, aren't you?
I gained
Okay.
2.
All right, boys. We got a lot to talk about. We're gonna go for about an hour because we've got an early day tomorrow. I want to get into this Jesse Lingard story now. Oh, for God, His Highness would like the link sent on Twitter. So sorry, guys. The live show has been interrupted because His Highness Forest Ant would like the link on Twitter. So. There we go. I've sorted that out. Sorry, let's get back before we were rudely interrupted. I want to talk about this Jesse Lingard story. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I don't buy too much into the Nottingham Post. Between you and me and you guys, I feel that sometimes they will find a story, someone's put a one-liner on Twitter, and they'll try and blow it up into an amazing story, yeah? But I'll make an exception in this case because I've said I'd pay for his Uber back to Manchester if he would let me.
Be true, yeah.
But what I want to say on this, and I want to come to both of you on it, is I did pick up on something in Cooper's press conference. Oh God, look who it is.
Sorry, guys, I fell asleep.
You're missing watching
Thanks for coming, mate. Anyway, hi, Ant. Are you well?
Tired.
No, we're not going for long today. We're not going for long. All right.
No, I'll wake up in 45 minutes. Be all right.
Yeah. All right. We'll just get you ranting in a second. All right. Can we start, man? This is like no, I was going to say we're normally professional. We're not. All right. So anyway, something I picked up on in Pierce and what's our manager called again? Cooper. His press conference when he was asked about Lingard, he said something along the lines of, he's good, blah blah blah, and he provides a good atmosphere, and then he added at the end of it in a positive manner, which I found quite interesting. Why he felt the need to tag that little positive manner bit at the end of it. I don't know. Maybe I was reading too much into it. But then this story's come out that Forest want to cut their losses, for those of you who haven't seen it, and they want to offload Lingard in January. I'm all for it. I'll put my hat up. I'm all for it. Ez, we'll start with you, Ez Vance.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on this? Do you think there's much credibility in it? And let's then just assume afterwards it is. Where do you stand on Lingard? And guys in the chat, do you want Lingard in or out? Get Lingard's in and out in the chat as well.
Okay, well, I think in regards to Lingard, I made my views quite clear last time, but I don't want to see him start a game again. Unless he can come on as a sub and make a massive impact, I don't want to see him start a game for us again. I'm sorry, he's had ample opportunity, and he's had the manager making excuses for him left, right, and centre. And we've all given him that extra time as well, an extra leeway, because we've wanted him. and we still want him to succeed, but he's not showing anything that deserves him to get a starting place right now. And I think there's players like Dennis, for example, that deserve a starting place above him, and needs to be given the opportunity, because part of the report does make sense that he's not a long-term strategy.
But
for
was
the
he
club.
ever going to be a long term? That I know what you're saying, but it kind of doesn't make sense as well, does it? Because he was never going to be long term.
No, it doesn't. But I think the aim when we got him in was to give the club a boost, and which it did, in terms of getting us out there, getting us noticed, getting us publicity. But in terms of his performances on the pitch, and that's all that really matters. It's just been non-existent, I'm afraid. And like I said, he's not done enough to earn his starting place anymore. Anyway, and just about will keep his place on the bench if he's lucky. But I'm highly disappointed and I'm highly let down, and I'm not alone in thinking that. So he's had his chance. He can't say is that he's not been given his chance. He's been given his chance.
Plenty. Rads,
Yeah.
your thoughts on Lingard? One, do you think the story's true? And then secondly, assume it is true. Do you want him in or out? And guys, sorry, Rads, I've put a poll on Lingard in or out. Let's. I'm pretty sure I know which way it's going to swing, but get your votes in the poll as well. Go on, Rads.
Lingard out for me. I think a lot of people would agree. I've actually seen a handful
one.
say in, but most say out.
Oh, in the Trent. Okay.
Apart from that one, that's quite funny. He's got. I'd get rid of him at any opportunity unless he suddenly starts performing, which I doubt he will. Then yeah, I think he has to go. I don't think the World Cup is going to help his chances of staying, because obviously he's only got a few games now to really prove himself before January. We've really got 4 games before January, which is a matter thing. We're in November. But yeah, he's just not performed, has he? 11 games, no goals, no assists. He's been very unmemorable. Can't really think of many moments of him in a Forest shirt apart from him failing, quite frankly.
The only one I've got is the through ball over the top for O'Brien's goal against Fulham. The one he passed the ball, didn't he, to John. Yeah, outside of that, man. Yeah, you're right. What's he done? I think
another thing as well, actually, the fact that we've got this Scarpa guy coming in as well. Yeah. He's an attacking midfielder. I think that would actually it'll be perfect, really, get rid of someone that clearly hasn't worked. Potentially was never going to work, really. I think a lot of people had doubts about him from the start, and I did think he'd be better than what he has been. But to just replace him with another attacking midfielder who's he must be younger, isn't he, Scarpa, than Lingard?
I think he's about the same age, to be honest.
Is he? Right. Yeah. I don't know much about Scarpa, but
28.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's just been a major disappointment. So for that reason, get rid, and I'm sure someone else will pick him up and watch him do really well for them, which would be typical.
Or go to West Ham, and
yeah, that's guaranteed. Yeah,
it's guaranteed. But I'd personally get rid of him.
Senor Ants, thank you for gracing us with your presence tonight. We appreciate you taking time out of your schedule. How are you?
I might sleep, you mean?
Yeah, have you woken up yet? Same question, mate. Lingard in or out?
Well, first of all, Scarpa, Palmeiras, champions of Brazil, 40 appearances, 10 goals, 10 assists. Evidently, star man.
And motivated to come to the Premier League. It's been his dream for years.
He's dying to come. Yeah, he's dying to come, It's a shame about Jesse because, there was a lot of excitement generated by both his signing and the fact that we beat West Ham to it.
Yeah.
It's not really worked out. I think if we can sell him to West Ham for 10 million in January, I think, we should do that.
Mate, I would pay 10 mil. Forget them paying us.
Yeah. It ain't working, is it? And the worst thing about it, I'm not sure about this getting rid of him because Steve Cooper does seem to play him quite a bit. So, I don't know. But the worst thing about it at the moment is that he's taking up a spot in that squad, isn't he? So we've got 25-man squad. We're getting at least Scarpa in, maybe the Costa Rican lad. We'll see how that goes. So 2 have got to go anyway. So yeah, I suppose he has to. It's a shame, but I can't honestly see it. I just don't see any improvement at the moment. So I don't see what choice we have really.
Well, yeah, just touching on that.
We'll have to pay him off, won't we? That's not going to be cheap, but
yeah, probably going to have to pay most of his contract off. But the issue, like Ant's raised there, is that we've not seen a progress from him. You know, we've not seen any glimmers of hope. You know, which is what we want and which is what we desperately need. You know, it was a good performance against against Liverpool, but he didn't stand out really out of all the players that did play well. He probably would have been the lowest scorer of those who, you know, did put a performance in against Liverpool. But yeah, I mean, I just genuinely think that there was hope that he was going to fight for his England place or the opportunity to get on that plane, but that never ever looked likely or materialized. And once that, no, if that's supposed to be his aspiration, then well, he's not achieving it, and he's nowhere close to achieving it. You know, so what's going to motivate him now for the rest of the season?
The thing is, Ed, as well, is that we can't have a player who only wants to play with us to get into the England squad. You know, that's no good to us because what happens after the World Cup?
Exactly.
So that should never have been a reason for signing him. We should have signed him because he was a good player, which we thought he was. But we have to bear in mind he'd not played for a year, and we've seen nothing.
I think, Ant, you raised an early good point for you. Usually it takes you about half an hour to warm up. But with Scarpa coming in, who is over the 21 age, he's like, I think he's 28, 29. He's about Lingard's age.
28, yeah.
28.
For him to get into the squads, someone's got to jump ship. And it's the same position. It's similar position. So maybe there is some legs in this. I think what will be a real clarifying factor is the next 2 games. Does Cooper put Lingard on the starting lineup or on the bench or even leave him out of the squad? That will be quite interesting to see. I think I still had him to be dropped after his crappy performance against Arsenal, but just to the bench. I think all eyes will be whether he's on the bench or...
I'm not actually, as well, I'm not actually sure of the logistics of, you know, getting rid of him. Because if nobody takes him, if nobody wants to take him, then you're talking about effectively sacking the guy. And I don't know how logistically that is feasible. In football, in the football world, it's a big thing to actually terminate a player's contract. You very rarely hear about a player's contract.
Aubameyang's the only one I can think of in the last 5 years with Arsenal.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm kind of doubtful that that'll happen.
Well, just the fact that you only have
such a high-profile player. It's not like Cafu we're talking about. We're talking about a high-profile player, whether we like it or not. So I'm not sure about.
Well, I mean, he's got 5 or 6. He'll have 5 or 6 months left on his contract when we get to January. So it's not a big payoff. You know, we're not paying off a 2-year, 3-year contract. So it's feasible. It really is feasible because if he's not performing, then you're paying for nothing anyway.
It wasn't. It's not the money I'm so much thinking about. It's the actual like sacking of a football player.
The PR, isn't it? The PR.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it happens, and you know what? He's got no defense. I'm sorry, he's got no defense. He's not been unfairly treated. He's not been not given his opportunity. Yeah, exactly. It happens to better players than Lingard. You know, so I can actually see it happening. And in terms of
Sanchez fucked off to South America and didn't come back. Slightly different.
Well,
Tevez
maybe
as well. Tevez.
Yeah, Tevez did something similar.
Again, they actually walked out on the club, didn't they? It wasn't the club getting rid of them.
Mate, we've had it with one of my heroes, Van Hooijdonk. Remember when he went on strike? You know, it was.
Yeah, that's a different matter altogether.
It was a different matter.
We didn't sack him. We actually sold him, by the way.
Yeah, no, he came back. Didn't he? He came back.
Yeah. The difference is on this one, who actually won? Like Rad's already said who's actually going to want him. So it would be a matter of terminating his contract if nobody wants him. But you know what? There's some muppets across the pond.
There might be one or two clubs that would take him. To be fair,
yeah, in America,
on the wages. No, maybe the wages might be an issue.
I don't know. I don't know when the US season starts off because they have this break as well, don't they? I don't know when they start off again, but I mean, Rooney's running a circus over there, so he could do with a couple more clowns. So why didn't I'm sorry. I'm carrying on from the other night. I'm sorry.
That's like you're never allowed to put your camera back on. I think look, as much.
I just say I think that Ez is just trying to cultivate a bit of mystery because I've been with him today and he looks fine. So
listen, Rads, I want to bring you in with a questions on this. Are we being too harsh? Because Bobby here makes a good point. The team scored 9 goals and I think it's 8 goals in 13 games, and we're shitting on Lingard. Are we being harsh, or is it because of what he was meant to bring to the team, like the leadership, the Prem experience, and everything else like that? And also, I just to add to it as well, I don't think we terminate the contract. I can't see it. I think. What's the point? Because in January, he can talk to West Ham to sign up for them in June if he wanted to from January. I think they may just either chuck him to Olympiacos or just let him rot until he moves in June. I don't know. What do you think? Just on Bobby's point as well there. And guys, I've put a Q&A section in the chat. So I'll get some questions asked to the panel towards the end of the show. So get them in and hit those likes. There's 150 of you in here and 32 likes. And Rads, keep an eye on that subscribe account for
yeah.
It better be going up. That's all I'm saying. Guys in the chat, that better be going up. Just hit the Rads button in the title. Please do. Get him to 4K. Sorry, Rads. Yeah, but on that point, are we being harsh?
Like what you said? I get we've only scored 9 goals, and that is also down to the team and a number of reasons. I think the way we play, it isn't all on Lingard in that regard, but I don't think Lingard's done himself any favours. When you're looking at his personal performance, he's not been good enough. And we all thought a player of Lingard's calibre, he's not shown the quality, but what he's done in his career, coming up as an newly promoted side, signing someone like him, we all thought surely going to do well, or be a big game player. And if anything, in the big games, he's been his most invisible. And to be fair, he did all right against Liverpool, but like Arsenal, he was awful. So I can understand the point. We've only, why we're just going for Lingard when the whole team have struggled. But I think you're kind of making an excuse for him. I think a player of his caliber. I watched a video of him yesterday of him at Man United and West Ham, and how he was just he was a really good player. And I just looked at the way he played.
Doesn't he? He looked quicker.
Yeah. I looked at the way he played. He took on his man. He ran at players. He caused problems. He scored some really clever, good goals. And at Forest, he doesn't do any of that. He seems to be playing with fear or something, or it's just not working. And it's just so disappointing. Even at Man United, I never thought Lingard was like outstanding, but I thought, wow, this is a great signing. But I did see why some people were slating us for it, because we're signing him for the name and he's going for the money and that and all that debacle. But I don't feel it's fair to say we can make excuses for Lingard. I just feel for what we know he can do, he just hasn't come anywhere near previous levels that he's reached.
I fully agree with that. I do. And yes, in a way, he's getting the most stick. But I think he's entitled to get the most stick as well because of his profile. The stuff you just mentioned there, how he played at West Ham. Obviously, he's had Champions League experience in Man U and everything like that. And it's just like, you've got to take the plaudits, but you also have to take the stick. There's two sides to football every single time. Sampras, in terms of your question on this one, MG Dub, get it in the Q&A in the chat and we'll come to it. We're happy to talk about all the players. And I just want to ask you, do you think the stuff he's doing on social media, I'm not talking about his personal social media, he can do what he wants. I'm talking now specifically about the Forest stuff, where he's been doing, those games and then getting the FIFA cards. And he's always clowning around for me on those videos. Do you think that's endeared him to the fans or annoyed the fans? Well, from your point of view, how's it made you feel watching them?
From my own point of view, I couldn't give a shit. I don't care. He can do what he likes on social media. I mean, it's quite obvious, isn't it, that Forest TV come in and say, Jesse, come and do this. Jesse, will you come and do that? He's not saying, please let me do that. They want him there because he's a big name, yeah? So that doesn't bother me one iota. And let's face it, if he was doing well and banging the goals in, we'd all lap it up, yeah? So I don't blame him for that, and it really doesn't bother me. I think we are, and I understand why. I think we are scapegoating him a little bit. He's not the only one. Do you know what I mean? But obviously, he's a high-profile one. The expectations were high, quite rightly so. You take the money, you take what comes with it. Physically, he doesn't look quite right to me. I don't know why, because he's obviously training and everything. I don't want to hear any rubbish about he's got to get up to speed. He's obviously
are we no longer? He's no longer allowed to hide behind that excuse, is he?
No, not at all. He never really was, to be honest. But we did allow it because we were looking.
I mean, we were giving him that excuse, weren't we?
Yeah, we were looking for reasons. Jesse will come good. We're a third away through the season. I don't see any reason for us to be optimistic that it's going to all of a sudden burst into life. Maybe he's just kind of finished with football, I don't know. Maybe emotionally, psychologically, physically, maybe he's done. He's a multimillionaire. He likes to he likes to do his stuff, which I'd say doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
But maybe his focus is not fully on football, and maybe, like I say, America's calling, perhaps.
Rooney.
I think it would suit him down to the ground, to be honest.
Yeah.
If I was him, that's where I'd go. Put it that way.
Yeah.
Sunshine, easy life, loads of money, no pressure.
Easy football league as well.
That's what I mean. Easy life. Yeah. Sounds good.
I was going to say, guys in the chat, does Lingard's extracurricular stuff, I'm not talking his personal stuff, that's his business, I'm talking the stuff that comes out on Forest YouTube and other platforms, does that bother you guys? Just give us a yes or no in the chat. As and Rads, between you two, is there one of you two or both of you that are bothered, or don't you care about it, or are you bothered?
By
the social media he does for Forest, like the FIFA cards, the other stuff, the clowning around, the standing up in the table, singing away when Freuler's kind of sitting there looking at him like, what the hell's he doing? That kind of stuff. Does that bother you or not? It's a lot of no's. It's a bit mixed.
Not really.
Go on, Brad, you take it first and we'll go to
No, it doesn't, to be fair. I mean, it doesn't shock me in the slightest that Lingard's doing that, because we've seen him do it before. It's just how he is. It's his personality. And that's what I knew he'd do it for Forest at some point on one of these videos. And I think by one token, it's good that the team are doing those kind of videos, because it's getting the bonding up, and we're all going on about gelling and that. And I think that's a very good way of doing it. But it really does bring out why Lingard is sometimes disliked by people, because of the way he acts off the field, and then on the field he's invisible, which doesn't really help his case for anything. So overall, though, I don't really. He can do what he wants on TikTok or Instagram, whatever, or for social media. It's up to him what he does.
Yeah, as I think TC's point here is spot on. If he plays well, who cares?
Yeah, that's basically what I was going to say. Much like what Ant said, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't. I don't pay any attention to it really. But when his performances aren't there, then it kind of like it seems pointless. And it did when he was at. I didn't like it when he was at Man U. When I'd see it, and I'm thinking, well, you're not performing on the pitch, but you're dancing around like you're king of the world. But It doesn't. Deep down, it doesn't. I couldn't give a damn. But what bothers me is that he's not performing, and unfortunately, when you combine the two, if you care about one, then you're going to be bothered by the other. So, yeah, I mean, for me, it makes no difference. It's not helped his performances, has it? You know, it hasn't. You'd like to think somebody who's behaving like that off the pitch is going to bring that confidence onto the pitch as well. And we haven't seen that, and that's what matters. In overtime, he's cost us more goals than he's got us. You know, the two mistakes he's made against, I remember one against Leicester, the other one was against Fulham, against Bournemouth, was it? You know, giving the ball away in dangerous places where we got punished, you know, but he's done more damage than he's actually, and from goal contributions. This is the thing, because I was there for his debut. Well, I don't know if he actually made his debut out in Berlin. I don't think he did. His debut was against Valencia. Yeah, and he looked really exciting, especially that first half. He
was actually shooting, wasn't he? It was weird.
Yeah,
you don't see that now.
And even spells of the West Ham game. So we saw some glimpses, but that is literally all we've seen, apart from like you mentioned earlier, the clip over the top for Johnson to run on to for the goal against Fulham, Brian's goal against Fulham. Other than that, you know, going forward, and I'm sorry, I expect a lot more from somebody of his caliber. You know, he has got the pedigree. He has done it at the highest level for England as well, you know, but he's just not for us. And I've not even seen a glimpse of it, you know, and that's what's upsetting. That's what's a shame. And like I'm adamant in saying, I don't want to see him start again. I don't know if Cooper will drop him for the next game, but it might be an indication if he does.
Yeah.
No, perhaps he'd been unfair. Perhaps when he was told he was replacing Cafu in the squad, he thought he meant as like chief cheerleader.
That's a good point. Now, I want to wrap it up on the Lingard thing. I just want to say a couple of things on it for me, because there's been some points raised that I really do agree with. Sam, I think you're spot on here. The balance of the teams never felt right with Lingard and MG Dub in the same lineup. Not enough natural width, physicality, attacking prowess, or defensive intelligence. I'd go a step further than that, and I would say I feel like Cooper is trying to shoehorn those two players who clearly are both wanting to play that number 10 position, and he's kind of and it is. I fully agree with what Sam's saying. It's ruining the balance a bit in the team. So I do agree with that. My view on the social media stuff is there's just look, it sounds like I have an agenda against. I do have an agenda against Lingard. I'm not going to lie about it. I just don't think he's right for Forest. But for me, those social media stuff that he does for Forest does bother me, because I don't see any hurt. Yeah, we're here after matches that we've lost. You know, when we went on that streak where we're getting L. And then you see those social media clips that are coming out where they're laughing, and it's always centered around him. And I think you're right. I think it was you who said it, and they're asking specifically for him to come out because he's got that profile. So yes, he is. I am scapegoating him a little. I know I am. I'm very harsh against him, but I don't like seeing that happening with losses. I would rather see, you know, stuff like harder training happening as the video. Yes, it would be boring to watch, I know, but then at least I see they're making the effort in there. Or I'd like to see, as much as I don't like Man U, do you remember when they lost to Brentford 4-0 and Ten Hag got them to run the amount of miles that they ran less than Brentford or Leicester, whoever it was? It's not a great story, but for me, that shows the kind of commitment you want to see from players who haven't put in a good performance. Not lose the game and then next week do a Halloween box or whatever it is. And that's what bothers me about it. And yes, he becomes the spotlight of it, but they've put him there. So they are the cause of a lot of my agenda against him, because he's gone there. You know, and that singing crap he did where he's standing on the chair, that was after a loss. That bugged me as well. So I just would rather see them train hard.
I mean,
can I just address one more on a serious note with him?
Yeah.
A comment earlier on said, sell him to the sheepshaggers for 10 quid. They've not got 10 quid.
I say send him to Olympiacos, man. That
would top it off, wouldn't it?
Well, That is cruel.
Bob, you're lucky, man. You don't want to see them. I mean, they again, if those videos are made, as we said earlier, when we're winning, I'd be like, yay, Jesse, yay, keep doing it, you know. But that's because that's how you feel as a fan. But yeah, I've put a poll in there. Look, most of you are not bothered by it, and I understand why. It's like it's whatever for a lot of people. 20% are bothered, 80% are not bothered.
You know what bothers me about it is he's obviously, whatever his actual weekly wages, he's commanding a high wage. So for a player of that value, let's put it that way, he's underperforming. He's underperforming, and there's no argument over that. You know, I'm sorry, if he was being paid performance related, he'd be skint, mate. I'm telling you.
It'd be in debt, mate. But yeah, right. I just want to Dean as well. Yeah, Dean, you are right. I mean, I saw the training video this week. They were literally playing piggy in the middle.
Yeah, no, Wolverine. I have to say this again. Those training videos, they're for publicity.
They are.
Yeah, they're pointless.
That doesn't mean that immediately after that camera goes off, they're not doing 50 press ups. You just don't know. It's
not even about the 50 press. You want to see.
No, I know that.
I know they can't. I know they can't because you can't show the tactics and everything. Yeah, but I am sick of seeing them playing piggy in the middle and using those 5-year-old goals that I had for my kids when they were learning to kick a football.
More entertaining than the games that we watch.
Do you know what? You know, I know you're joking, but it's true. Yeah, the way they pass the ball in those training videos when they're playing piggy in the middle, I'm looking at it thinking, why can't you do that on the pitch? You're doing it in a smaller space. Why are you not doing it on a pitch, man? Do it on the damn pitch, and then I'll rewatch those passes over and over again. That's fine by me. But see him in that goddamn little pitch with those stupid 4 goals in each corner that are this big. No wonder they're always shooting low to the ground. No wonder Jesse Lingard shot low against Arsenal because they're training on goals that size. I feel like I'm turning into Ez. You guys are infecting me.
Don't turn into me, mate. You know.
Anyway, hey, Statman Stubbs, it's good to see you, bro. How are you? Thinks we're gonna nick a 1-0 win. I'll take it, man. I'll take it. And that's
yes, please.
I do want to move into the Brentford match and talk about it tomorrow. I know we touched on it on our last stream. Ez, are you Rads, are you feeling any different today to how you were a couple of days ago? Are you still confident? Is anything giving you nerves on the game? And which way you think we swing?
Still feel very similar. I just don't know how to talk about Virus right now when it comes to predictions, because like I'm thinking, okay, Brentford, they're a good team, but they're not Arsenal, for instance. So it's technically a bigger opportunity to win. But I then remember the Leicester game and the Fulham game and the Bournemouth game, and I'm thinking, right, well, we lost them, so why should we beat Brentford? And it's negative, but it's just realistic. So
yeah. I
feel we can beat anyone, as we've proven against Liverpool. And I know Liverpool aren't what they were, but it's still Liverpool. So I just feel like it is a big opportunity, both these games. And we've been saying it the last few days how against Brentford and Palace, we really need to get at least 4 points to be satisfied about it. I still stand by that.
Do you think this is must-win, Rads?
I think... I mean, every game's must win, isn't it? You know, I probably would say yes, but I think if we don't win, I don't think. I think I'd take a point so long as we beat Palace, but then that puts a lot of pressure on the Palace game.
You're spot on.
So yeah, I think you don't want to be negative. Saying okay, I'll settle for a draw so long as we win against Palace. Then if we don't win against Palace, it feels very negative. Then after the Arsenal game as well, it feels like we're back to square one after those few games we had where it got a bit better. So yeah, I'm going into every game with a bit of optimism, but also a lot of nerves at the same time.
Yeah, apprehension.
Yeah, that's the word.
I think I agree with you, and I think a lot of Forest fans have that same feeling. It's not consistent enough in being good or being bad. You just don't know where the balance is. They throw in the win against Liverpool, and then we get that crappy performance against Arsenal. We were even by half, Rads, isn't it? It's like winning 2-0 against Bournemouth and then throwing 3 goals away. Same with Fulham leading in there. And I just, when we were looking at it last season, like especially as we were getting past Christmas in towards that run, there was very limited games where I felt we weren't going to at least challenge for the win. Do you know what I mean? I haven't had that feeling for quite a while.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Who's next? Should we go to Ez? Ez, where are you mindset wise on tomorrow? Let's see where the fans are as well. The chat is fans are, like we're famous. I'm going to put out a win-lose-draw poll for you guys for tomorrow while Ez starts talking. So get your votes in a second. Yeah, what are you thinking, Ez? You echoing a bit of what Rads is saying or different?
Yeah, I mean, I just think we can take a lot of pressure off a Palace game by getting a good result tomorrow and a good performance, and it's important. I don't know how important to any of us the cup game is midweek, but momentum is always a great thing, and we saw it last season. We saw how momentum got us over the line, basically. But what I don't want is the added pressure on the Palace game, because what we haven't done largely is respond well when we're under pressure, and we can go back to the Sheffield United. We can go back to the Bournemouth game end of last season.
Yeah.
We're under pressure. We didn't come out of it well. Then go on to the Sheffield United game. And this season, we've been under pressure in some games and we've collapsed. We capitulated. So what I don't want is, like I said, the added pressure of us only going into the Palace game with a point or less out of tomorrow. So tomorrow's game is important. And I mean, it's nothing really, but if you look at things like on the FPL, where they color code your games and stuff like, this is one of the games that we've got a possibility of getting something out of, at home against Brentford. We've got to be looking at it as a potential 3-pointer, and as always, the performance and the way we attack the game is going to be key tomorrow. Be interesting to see what his lineup is, but I just think there's a lot of pressure on tomorrow's game, and I think the fans will be behind them. We'll be behind them tomorrow, 100%.
100%.
They've just got to give us something to shout about,
Do you? Sorry, I don't know if you said it in the middle of it, but is this one a must-win, or the Palace one will be a must-win, or what do you think?
I think this is a must-win, because otherwise the Palace one is a have to win, and it's too much pressure on it. So I think winning this game will take the pressure off the Palace game, and we can maybe play with a bit more freedom. So to me, this is a must-win.
Yeah. In the chat so far, 64% of you are saying Forest will win. 18 saying Brentford, 18 saying the draw. Get your votes in if you haven't. Please do hit the like. We're coming up to 200 viewers, about 28 of them. Please do hit the like buttons, and I'm going to be checking on Rad's subscriber number. Rads, give us an update. His link is in the title. You've just got to click it if you're not subscribed. Please go and subscribe to him right now. It's a 2-second job, guys. What's the live count?
We've gained 3.
3. Okay, good guy. Well done, guys. Keep moving it up. If you haven't subscribed, it's in the title and the description, as well as all these guys' socials as well. They're all in the description as well. Make sure you follow Ant, for example, and tell him how ugly he is. Ant, coming to you now. Sorry, mate. I love you really. And tomorrow's game, I mean, me and you are probably going to be holding hands praying.
Yes. Under the seats, yeah.
Yeah.
Not in a funny way, by the way, boys and girls.
No, yeah. We'll just be praying. So bring some earplugs, because I do get loud at games. I just want to say, I really am more interested in, is it a must-win game rather than how you... Well, I want to know both, but is it must-win, and what do you reckon?
Right.
What do you reckon? Can we win?
Bring it on, because I don't think there's such a thing as a must-win game. I mean, how can things be a must-win game? We could lose tomorrow, then win every other game for the rest of the season. So, no such thing as a must-win game, in my opinion. Only in my opinion. I know it's a well-used term, but I just don't believe in must-win games. Right.
All right. Was the playoff final last year a must-win game?
Got him. I shall have to give you that one.
I'm just making
Bravo.
me think a little outside the box.
No, you're all right.
I know what you're saying. But I disagree. But go on.
Yeah. Let's get things into a bit of perspective here. We're playing Brentford tomorrow. Brentford have scored 2 goals away from home. Brentford have not won an away game this season. Brentford have recently been thrashed 4s and 5s.
Yeah.
Or at least 3s and 4s. So let's not pretend that. Oh, also Brentford will be without their star player, their superstar striker.
Yeah.
So let's not pretend that this is a difficult game and we should be grateful for a draw. It's not. It's a game we should be looking to win. And
100%.
if Steve Cooper plays the right personnel and the right formation, we will win.
Yeah.
Sadly, I think that's unlikely that we will play. That we may still win, but I don't think he'll play my preferred personnel and formation. Which
Your kind of Conte style football that you like, yeah.
Which coincidentally matches your preferred personnel and formations, the two, either of, I would be happy with, that was on an earlier stream that everybody should watch.
It's like, it's screaming out to me that is the team, man. And then obviously Niakate, when he comes
We're
back,
at home. We're in front of a full sellout crowd, in front of a not a brilliant team, who aren't in any sort of form, who have not won a game away from home. We should go out and we should take the initiative and impose ourselves on them. If we were to do that, I think we have much more chance of success than if we do what we've been doing for the past 12 games.
I couldn't agree more. It's like, I looked at Brentford. Brentford are not a team I watch much of. They're decent. I don't mind them, but
fucking Brentford.
Exactly.
Brentford. Just say the name. It's Brentford.
Yeah. Brentford.
Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea. It's Brentford. We're not in Forest. Fuck 'em.
This is why I have the argument of a must-win argument, because if you're looking at all those stats, you've got to be winning those games. If we're not winning the majority of our home games now until the end of the season, then we are going to get relegated.
In that sense, you're spot on. It's a must-win game. I mean, we must win it.
Yeah. Not in the sense that we're running out of games, but we're running out of winnable games at home. We've lost at least 2 or 3 that we should have got points out of, and obviously that's the Fulham game and the Bournemouth game. But we got bonus points out of a Liverpool game, which weren't expected. So there are swings and roundabouts, but we're not going to pick up too many points away from home. So certainly not too many wins. So these games, like the Brentford game and Palace potentially as well, our wins, our games that we, from that point of view, from that sense of expression, I would say are must wins. We got
Dean's making a point here. Brentford are also going to say it's Dean's on fire.
Don't give a shit what they say. Who gives a shit what they say?
I'm not saying that's what they say. It's the mentality.
Brentford.
Yes.
Brentford. You may as well say fucking Wigan or bloody Derby or something. They're nobodies.
But this is the encouragement we've given other teams, haven't we? This season, by the way we've played and the way how open we've been. So they should be confident. Well, I would be confident if I was in their boots. So we can't knock them for that. We've got to knock ourselves for the way we've performed. Don't know what you're laughing at, mate.
Because we're crap. Trying to build us up.
But we're Forest.
Exactly.
All right, speaking of crap, Rads. Not you.
Cheers.
That literally was not even. No, I wasn't even attempting a joke there, and it just came out like
true colours. You actually, that's what you think about my channel. I knew it all along.
I'm sorry.
You cost him something.
I kind of wish I meant it like that. It was funny, but Brad, speaking of crap, right? Are we going to see tomorrow?
Speaking of crap, full stop. Rads.
I know, yeah.
Are we going to see that crappy low block football tomorrow? And would it be acceptable to you against Brentford, man? That's what I'm calling that.
I mean, probably will, yeah. I don't really see us changing it. I mean, if we play like we did against Liverpool and Brentford play like Liverpool did against us, then we probably will win. But I don't know what the chances of that are. So yeah, I would say it's a very good chance. To be quite honest, I think a lot of it does depend on the lineup. To be honest, whether we're playing Lingard or Cook, to be honest, players like that. So yeah.
Would you drop Cook, Rads? I'm putting you on the spot here. Would you drop him tomorrow?
Yes, probably I would. I'd probably.
What are you thinking? Worrell or Bidet? You're going to say Worrell, aren't you?
Yeah, probably would say Worrell. I understand. I understand entirely what people want to see Bidet because we're not seeing him. I think if Bidet doesn't play in that Cook game, I think there's something really weird going on with that. Like, why on earth would you not play him in that game? You know, I want to see what he's all about. You know, we all do. And a Cook game against Spurs, may as well put him in.
Yeah.
But I think whenever Worrell's come on he come on most games, which says a lot, saying he's a centre back. You know, if you're on the bench as a centre half, you don't normally come on unless it's like an injury or something. And
that's a really good point. You know, I've never thought about that.
Yeah, the fact that he's come on.
Is that just because he's captain?
I'd say there's a big part of that, and also the fact that you've been saying how I think we want to try and go back to a back three. And I think in some aspects, I think against Liverpool it worked because we wanted to, you know, defend. And I think in that regard it worked, bringing on an extra man. And I think we adapted very well. Not sure whether we should go back to starting like that or not, but I feel, whenever he has come on, he has done better than what he did when he was starting at the start of the year, where he looked a bit out of it. I'd take either of him or Bardet. I mean, I don't think Cook. I think Cook's done all right at times this season, but he just hasn't got that pace.
Yeah.
So I probably would take him out.
You kind of blow my mind with that one, mate. Like, because it's true. Ez, how many teams do you see on a regular basis make a substitution to bring a centre back on?
Conte.
Thanks, Ez.
Yeah,
appreciate
it. That's the only other one, absolutely, yeah. But
does that not say everything?
I mean, just touching on what Rad said there, I'm going to disagree because I don't think it did work against Liverpool. Because let's face it, Van Dijk got a free header, and if Worrell's supposed to be the spare man, how the hell is he getting a free header? It was only the heroics of Dean Henderson that got us the 3 points that day. Because otherwise, bringing on that extra defender didn't work. It invited pressure onto us, invited more set pieces against us. I don't think it actually worked. I think we just got away with it. You know, we got away with it in that game, and it certainly didn't work against Arsenal. So I don't see the point of it unless you're going to take another central defender off, because he took off a strike. He took a 1 year off to bring Worrell on against Arsenal when we were 3-0 down. What? Pointless, honestly, pointless. What's going through his head? Damage limitation, that didn't work. We conceded 2 more goals and didn't even give him. And you know what? I'm looking back on it. I watched it again the other day. How many times that players end up on their arse? It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All of them.
And we're talking about top players as well.
But it's all of them.
Like Lodi as well. How many times does Lodi end up on his backside? You know, I'm sorry. You know, I know we're defending all these players, but I'm going to answer a question. I might be jumping because we haven't got long left, but it's something that me and Ant talked about. I had a brief discussion about today because Lingard is getting some flack, but there's other players that probably deserve some that seem to be untouchable at the moment. And one of the main ones for me is MG Dub. What has he actually repaid us with from his 24 million pound price tag so far this season?
Ez, let's go.
Well, Sam Prez has asked that question.
For the 42 million, mate. The 42 million. Let's go.
Let's go for top end. Let's go top end then.
All right. Do any of you want to not cuss him down, but make some positive criticism? And does anyone want to back him? I'll back him. MGW, we've got to discuss this one because you're right. No one's above being criticized. I'll back him because I see the potential. He's got a couple of assists. What I'll say about him in his defense is two things. He actually tries to progress the ball forward. And because he's trying to run at defenders, he loses the ball. And a lot of people highlight that because he loses the ball. Yet no one else, apart from Dennis, is attempting to run with the ball, in my opinion, of course. So that's why, obviously, if a player is taking a ball forward, he's more likely to lose the ball. Secondly, he's one of the best through ballers in the Premier League. I've said it. There you go. Some of his through balls have been amazing this season. The one against Leicester, shut up, Ant-Man. The one he did to, was it Brennan? I can't remember if it was Leicester or Fulham, yeah? He puts him on an absolute plate. Or was it Villa? I can't remember.
It's in your imagination. It's in your imagination.
It's not. It was Fulham. It was Fulham. We could have gone 2-0 up, yeah? And Brennan didn't make the finish. The other thing I'll say to him, he comes back and he tracks back. Sometimes he's one of the deepest players coming back to track. He gets around that pitch. I'm not saying he's anywhere near his finished article. My point on him is there's just crap around him. There's only so much he can do. If no one's open for a pass, or if he's run with the ball, looks up and no one's there, he's going to end up running into a defender. You look at potential. When I criticize the likes of Cook, it's because Cook is at the top of his game and he's still not good enough. Yeah, that's how I kind of judge players. He's at the top of his game. He's not going to get better. He's probably going to decline. I'm sure he would admit that it's just as football. That's what's going to happen. When you look at MG Dub, he's growing into his game. He's shown glimmers of it, but he can't do it on his own. So that's my defense of him.
So my let me just say mine, Ant, and then you can jump in, mate. My point on him is, like, he is obviously a marquee signing. So build the team around him.
Yes.
Build the team around him. Don't try and, like you said earlier, try and pigeonhole him and Lingard in together just because, you know, they're the highest paid. What, blah blah blah, whatever. He's our marquee signing. Make him the focal point and build the team around him. I'm not knocking his effort. I'm not knocking his passion. I'm not knocking his energy. What I'm saying is, last season he looked so composed, especially when he played against us. He was such a threat every time he picked up the ball. I'm not seeing enough of that. And yes, I know we're at a higher level, and you know we're playing against better players, but just not enough for his price tag so far for me. I wouldn't be happy with if I was given a player best report.
Just to interrupt you there for a second, yeah.
Sure.
What was I going to say? Yeah, the point is, I think that is part of the problem. Is Cooper's trying to build the team around 3 or 4 different players who are kind of similar players. Like he's trying to squeeze Lingard in and MG Dub and build it around them. Then he's trying to build the team around the slow centre backs of Cook and even McKenna. Look, McKenna's a good defender, but he's not Linford Christie. And then you've got Ryan Yates as well and trying to adapt into his game in there. There's too many different styles that don't fit into a team. So he's got to pick. For me, I'd build the team around not MG. I'd build it around Freuler. Yeah, and build to his strengths and then create the spine off the back of that. And part of that spine would be MG Dub. But you are right. If MG Dub is going to be successful, he needs to be playing as a cam for a start. The last 3 or 4 games he's been out wide. And the team needs to be somewhat designed around him, not designed around the centre backs who are too slow, and that's why we're playing deep.
Yeah, because he can do what Zinkernagel did well for us. He can close down the players, but they've got to go with him. He can't be the only one chasing a player down. You know, we've got to go in packs, and we saw that against Liverpool. We saw that in glimpses in other games. And certainly saw a lot of that last season, and that's got to be our strength. You know, that's the only way you're going to take the pressure off your defense is by getting that attack right and closing down their defenders on the ball. And he does that well, but he needs to be helped out. And that's what I mean. We've got to build the team around him. You know, in my opinion, he is potentially, you know, our best player. You know, and we just haven't seen enough of it. And just from that point of view, otherwise, you know, he's not been any better or any worse than anybody else, you know, but I just expect more from him. You know, I wanted him more than anybody else. I championed his signing from day one, you know, and I'll stick.
Don't forget Hussam.
But yeah, and
go on, Ant. I can see you're dying to jump in on this one.
Yeah, well, obviously you guys have said a lot of what I was going to say, but I mean, so far it's not been that impressive. If we'd have bought him in for 4 million from Coventry, we'd be saying, well, yeah, drop him, whatever. That doesn't mean I think he's a bad player. I think he's a superb player, and I think that the problem, probably the biggest problem he has is, again, I go back to formation. The guy is playing a team that's sitting back. So when he gets the ball, there's nobody for him to give it to. There's nobody. He can't run against it. There's nothing. He's just lost, and that's because of the formation. If you look at him in the Sheffield United formation or even the Wolves formation, he had people around him. When he's playing for Forest, he's lost. All the forwards are. Jono is. They all are because they're on their own. So
I mean, for me, it's got to be something like this, where why have I?
Look at that. Look at that. If he had the ball, say he had the ball right now, he'd have Dennis to the left, Johnson to the right, and one in front of him. But when he gets it now, he's either on the right hand side with nobody around him, nobody in front of him, nobody at the side of him.
Spot on.
Yeah,
and not just that, Ant. With this, he's got someone to pass him the ball from a higher line, a Freuler who can thread the ball.
That's key. That's key. We have to get that line up the pitch because at the moment we're so deep that they're disconnected all the time. And if they do come back to connect, then they've got 70 yards in front of them.
Yeah,
that is too far for them to do anything with.
People are saying there's too big a gap between the midfield and the attack in this. There isn't, because this can change into a 4-5-1. And I don't even care. I'd go with, this is the other team I put together. But the problem with this is you don't get a cam and you end up with Morgan Gibbs-White out on the right with the problems we've got. But this three in midfield just looks so tasty for me as well. So, sorry, Ez, you were saying something.
No, we're saying that's a three we want to see in midfield, but you're right. It doesn't get the best out of MG Dub. But I'd rather see that, to be honest, because it gets Dennis in on what I think is his best position, out on the left, cutting in. I think that's his.
Yes.
I don't think he's the number. But 2 starts he's had for us, he's both been as a number 9, and it's just yes, he got the goal, but it just performance-wise, it wasn't getting the best out of him, and he's looked better when he's come on and played out wide. So that I like that. I really like that, and I'd like to start with
that midfield 3S. That's exciting. You know what I
mean?
Yeah,
I want to start with that tomorrow. I'd rather start with that.
Bottom of the table, and we could put out a midfield 3 like that. It doesn't make sense that we don't do it.
It's crazy, and they're all fit for it.
You know, it took I'm sorry, we've got to get Rad.
We've never done that as well.
Yeah, Rad. On this, I mean, you're a Yates super fan, apparently. Yeah, but you wouldn't say no to that midfield, would you?
No way. Like everyone's been saying, haven't they? How those 3, they're a class above.
I'm excited. Just looking at it.
Do you know what? The problem for me, I would feel more pressure, than the footballers would if Cooper put that team out tomorrow. I would shit myself because I'd be like, imagine they don't perform now.
Don't do that when you're sitting next to me.
I think everyone knows that those 3 are the best midfielders we have, and I feel we are blessed with the midfield options we have.
And Rads, Yates is the perfect guy to have on the bench to bring off when we need it.
Perfect. Yeah,
I totally agree. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah,
I'll just sorry, go on.
Yeah, I was going to say, I just think even Cuarte, we were slating him, and yet he's done well at times this season.
He's a good bench player.
Yeah.
So we've got some really good options there. And I just think it's so disappointing that we've never seen those 3 play together.
Exactly.
Do you know what I would? I would. If Baday's not going to get on, I agree with what Ed said earlier, and I disagree with what Rad said about Worrell. I don't think he's been that great when he's come on, even in the last few matches. He looks rusty. He's been out of position. I'd put Yates at the back if you're not going to put Bidet, man. Sorry, Rads, carry on. I was just chucking that in.
I think if we look at the 3 of them, obviously Mangala was exceptional at the start of the season, and it was obviously gutting that he got injured against Everton and he was out a lot longer than I thought we thought he would be. and I know Kouyaté and Yates have done well, recently, but I'm surprised that Mangala found it so difficult. And it's finding it so difficult to get back in. I would have thought he would have been starting by now, to be fair. Forwards, I think he's growing on people really. Like, he took a bit of a while to get into it. I mean, I thought he was an excellent signing. I wasn't really sure I'd fit in at first, but I think we're really seeing now what a smart player he is, and he just goes about his business very quietly. And from the moment I first saw O'Brien, I thought, wow, he's a real talented player. So I think you have to put those two together at some point. And I know you lose like an extra man in attack if you want to play an attacking midfielder. And we need to probably try and see Gibbs White there at some point. But I totally agree, that midfield looks amazing. And then you still got Yatesy and Kouyaté as well.
And the thing is, with that three in midfield, we've all been asking for it. The majority of the fans have been asking for it. Eventually, he went to 4 at the back because we asked for it. Maybe he'll surprise us and he'll give us that. But I'm eager to see O'Brien back on the field. When he was at his best, he was our most consistent player of the early part of the season, and I really enjoyed watching him play. Just where he picked up the ball, and he's diminutive. He wins free kicks. He just gets in and about the opposition when he's at his best, and I want to see the best of him. But another thing I just want to throw in,
it's funny, isn't it, that like some guys take a while to gel, some guys take a while to settle, some guys you look at, you're not quite sure. O'Brien and Mangala and the Niakate, but let's put that to the side. But O'Brien and Mangala, it was instant. You could see they were good players.
Chemistry as well off the bat.
Yeah,
absolutely. And just to add to that, they were playing in a 2.
They
were brilliant against West Ham.
Well, they highlighted it on TV, didn't they? And said, look, even though they're far apart, they knew where each other was, and then they both moved to where they should be.
Can I just put one last point? And I know we've already gone past the hour mark.
I want to answer this because I get asked this a lot. Without Yates or Thingy on the pitch, mine's Freuler. I'm not
Freuler.
I agree.
And I think most people would agree. Yeah,
he was Atlanta captain, wasn't he? So.
Yeah, absolutely. So and just throw another option into the mix then, because I'm not a big fan of putting Yatesy out of centre back, but why wouldn't you play Kouyaté in that position? He has played centre back before. He can play centre back. No?
He has played there, yeah.
No,
he has played there. He has the height.
Atrocious at Man City. Atrocious when he played Man City.
Oh,
I know it's Man City. I know it's Man City.
You can't count, man.
You can't count that. You can't count that, mate.
Okay, that's like saying, bloody hell, Henderson let 6 goals in against City.
Okay, but the point is, the issue in defense isn't the defense; it's the pace of the defense, not their ability to defend. Kouyaté is no faster than either McKenna or Cook.
He's more mobile, though. He's more agile.
Huh?
I think he's got more. I think he's got more agility and agility and mobility than Cook for sure. But it's just an option.
You're not raising a high bar there, but okay.
well, it's an option, but
I agree.
It's not.
It's
an option. Would you put Kouyaté in the back? Are you against it?
Personally, I wouldn't. I think it's because he can play there.
Yeah, I don't think we're suggesting he should play there.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
sorry.
No, I don't think it's a bad thing that we have. I like the fact that we have a midfield that can drop back. I think it's good that when you have players that can do that. But I personally wouldn't do that. I think even with the injury to Biancon, which is really sad, I think we have enough out-and-out centre-backs available, in my opinion.
We haven't even talked about Bolly.
Or he could go.
We've completely forgot, haven't we, about Bolly?
He could go full Conte and play Kouyaté, Yates, Worrell, Cook, McKenna, and Bolly.
Imagine.
And leave Bidet back on the bench. We've run over, as always.
It's all right, because I was a bit late, so, it's all right.
Yeah, okay. I just want to start wrapping up. I think we've had a fun discussion as always.
You've woken me up and now you're sending me back to sleep.
Yeah. I want to go around and get some score predictions. Now I'm going to hold you to these score predictions because we're closer to the time. I just want to say tomorrow, all 4 of us, well, 3 of us, maybe Ez, will keep him at arm's length if he does come. We'll be at the match. So if you're coming up early, come say hi to us, and we'll probably be vlogging as well. Rads definitely will be. I just want to touch on the Q&As. Did we get any questions in? Oh, Mike, can you see the questions? Because I can't freaking see them. If you can you paste them in there? But anyway, let's go around while I'm doing this admin-y stuff. Ez, score prediction.
I'm going to go for a 1-0 wins, mate, for us tomorrow, mate. I'm not goal score. I'm going to give you a goal score as well. Yeah, I'm going to give you a goal score as well. I'm going to give you, MG Dub to get off the mark, mate.
I need to say it. I'll take it. Rads, score prediction.
I'm going to agree 1-0 Forest. And goal scorer, do I just say someone completely random or go for someone obvious? I think, no, we'll just go.
Is there someone who's obvious? I don't know.
I'll probably say a one-y, but you know what? Let's just say O'Brien, been out for a while, back in the team. He'll hit one from 25 yards, top corner.
Oof.
You wait.
I'll take that. Guys in the chat, get your scores, and I'm seeing a couple coming. Dean's been 1-1 all day. Oh God, DJ Tone saying 2-1. Ant, your score prediction.
Obviously, you can't give a proper prediction until you know the team. I mean,
Correct.
You need to know who's
you
playing.
Can tell the score by that stage, yeah.
Yeah, you need to know the team who's playing before you can say what they're going to do. But just for fun, I'll say 2-0 Forest, a 1-ye, and Jono. There you go.
All right. Okay, I'll take that. Okay, getting the scores in here. And then just finally, we've got these Q&As coming through. I've got a few questions for you guys. So guys, if you click on the Q&A tab on the questions, if you want to put some quick ones in, these will be quick fire answers. Got a question from Mark for Ant. Ant, where is your Adam Ant face paint?
It was his birthday today.
Yeah. Okay. Next question we've got to all. This is from Richard the Walking Boom. Who is your favorite Forest player of all time? Ez, start with you.
Stan Collymore.
Oh, nice choice. Rads?
That's very difficult. I mean, I love Matty Cash when he was with us and Joe Lolly.
Yeah.
I mean, this is showing my age compared to some people. I'd probably say Joe Lolly.
Stop rubbing it in.
I'd probably say Joe Lolly. Why not?
It's not bad. When Joe Lolly was prime Joe Lolly, mate, I saw it on your video.
Prime Joe Lolly.
Yeah.
He's unreal. So.
And what black and white player are you going to give us?
Gaten Bong.
Gaten Bong.
Stan Collymore.
Listen,
I can speak from a position of authority. I've seen.
You saw Robbo, though. You saw Robbo.
Yeah, I've seen Robbo. I've seen Trevor Francis.
If I saw Robbo, I find it hard to choose Collymore over him.
I've seen Robbo. I've seen Robbo play many, many, many times. I've seen Trevor Francis play many, many, many times. Collymore. I always say this is the only player I've ever known where if he got the ball in his own penalty box, everybody was standing up saying, "Go on, Stan! Go on, Stan!" Because he could fucking do it. You know, against Wimbledon, he beat 7 players and slammed it into the top corner. And I was sitting in the bridge for them that day and I said, "That's fucking impossible! You cannot do that! You cannot do that!" So yeah, Stan.
Look
at us, like Roy Keane, Stuart Pearce. We've had some fabulous players.
Yeah. And I'm going to add my favourite of all time. I had 2.
Fullback.
Yes.
He's on his back. He's got it on his shirt.
On his shirt. Yeah.
Shut up. My favourite player of all time, Brian Roy. For me, is Brian Roy, man. I absolutely loved him. And then I know he's controversial. Van Hooijdonk. Van Hooijdonk was one. I've never seen free kicks taken.
No, that's
like
true.
he could. You were more shocked when he missed one.
You know what? When we used to get a free kick 25 yards out, and I mean this sincerely, when you used to get a free kick, Van Hooijdonk, we thought it was like getting a penalty.
Exactly.
We used to cheer like it was a penalty.
Yeah. Not 25, up to 40 yards out, mate. That's how good he was. Up to 40 yards out, he was people. Absolutely.
Was he before your time, Rad?
Well. Sorry.
Rad, was he before your time? Van Hooijdonk.
He will be. Yeah, he will be.
He was, yeah.
Oh yeah, that I've never seen a free kick taker like it. It was.
I mean, we had Stuart Pearce as well, whose free kicks were absolutely legendary. I've never. That's the other player, but with his left foot, I've never seen anybody hit a ball so hard. I watched a documentary the other day where they showed him how they were setting up the free kick he scored for England, where they tapped it. I think Gascoigne stopped the ball for him, and he against Poland. And it was beautiful. And there's nobody who hit a free kick like that. And something you mentioned a few weeks ago, and now I'm ranting about Basil Bolly, about when Basil Bolly elbowed him in that game against France, and then he got the free kick, and he's almost broke the crossbar with it, but he didn't score. Can you remember that? Oh, what a moment! With blood dripping down his face.
Listen to this, Rads. England played, and in the England side there were 6 Forest players. This was the time of Des Walker, Stuart Pearce, Steve Stone. Over half the England team was in Forest players.
Yeah.
Young Padawan, you've got a lot to learn.
Yeah, how mad it was for me just to see a low knee. Get caught up.
I watched your video, Rads, where you were doing the top 20, and I'm like, it was a good video. I'm like, man, he can't go any further back because he's probably can't remember the.
There was that, and it's also difficult as it is just doing the last 10 years. Like,
and you'll get abused all day long for who you picked as well. Yeah, I mean, these names. Different. Walking Boom, I don't know if you're still in here, but you're making us late. And my God, you got everyone going. Earnshaw was class as well. I didn't mind Earnshaw. He wasn't, I wouldn't have him top 5 or so.
No, it's not top.
It was good. So Walking Boom, thank you for sending us into a tangent. We'll do a couple more questions. Omai's asked the question.
There's some names coming up here.
There's some cracking names, isn't there?
I've got 50 years of names to go in my head.
Mate, do you know what? I used to love Chettle and Cooper as the back. I thought they were one of the most solid players.
Cooper
especially,
Everton.
That season we got promoted. He scored about 10 goals, didn't he? Free kicks, everything, you know. And I remember his winner against Man City in the cup. That was beautiful. That was a 1-2 with Neil Webb, and it was beautiful. Anyway, we're reminiscing for too long, mate.
Stuart Pearce once scored 18 goals in the top flight.
Yeah,
left back.
Okay, I think only six of them. Yeah,
when Marina made his debut against Birmingham City away. I'd never seen him, didn't really know much about him. The ball came to him and he just took it, controlled it, and I went, wow, we've got a player.
And read below you. All right, it is Omai's question. Omai says, with Biancone being out for the season, do we see this as a slight positive? Obviously, the coaching team didn't think much of him, so it opens up a space straight away. Question for all. And I think he's alluding to Spence with that. Do you see potentially Spence coming in? Let's go around the house as yes, no's. Ez.
I would love to see Spence in. I don't care who else we got in. I'd love to see Spence back. Yeah, if it's possible, I'd take him back.
Rads?
Obviously, I will always appreciate Spence for what he did for us, but I wouldn't want him to come back and then just not be what he was before, like in a new league.
Like but also, with your ex. Yes.
Also, more like as good as Aurier is, and then even Nico, like, is he guaranteed to start games? And like, I'd only really want to have the Jed of last season, really. If he's coming in and we're going to start him, then yeah, I'd definitely take him back. Because like,
I got it wrong. He's not talking about Spence. He's talking about Scarpa.
But obviously, we're not even talking about Jeff. But like, I don't know.
We're talking about Spence because I might as well get Ant's opinion on it now. And would you take Spence in? Would you chuck him straight in the team?
Yes, I would take Jed back. No, I don't think he'll be coming back.
Okay. And I'm just going to say, walking boom, stop. You started it all off. Yeah. You're gonna get Ant going on the
I
legends
love
again.
those guys. I worship those guys, Robertson and Francis.
I got a couple more questions to run through. Rachel says, "Hope you well, Rachel. Will we put a full strength squad out for Spurs in the cup, or will we give other players a chance of game time?" Go reverse this time. Ant, what do you think?
I would hope we're going to put out very much an experimental side. I don't give a shit about the cup. And the player I most want to see is Bardi.
I'd rather see him tomorrow. Rads, do you care about
yes,
the cup?
FA Cup I care about more, but League Cup not so much. So I'd definitely like to see a rotated team for a number of reasons. The fact that it is the cup. I've got 2 games obviously before it and after it. Or either side more like. And yeah, we just want to see new players, don't we? We all want to see what Barley's about. We want to see some of the fringe players actually start games, like Sam Surridge. I think needs to get a start. Players like that, even Hennessy, going right down the pecking order. But we need to see some.
I'd even put Embasso in. I'd give Embasso.
May as well, And I think we need to you have to keep a couple of first teamers in there. But I do want to see a largely rotated side, to be quite honest. Maybe play even some of the under 23 lads, like give them some vital experience. So
the kid in it how do you pronounce it? Canate, the French kid. He's on fire.
Yeah, there's lots of great youngsters in the academy which I think deserve a chance in the cup game, for instance. So I'd like to see a rotated team, to be fair.
Yeah, and I'm sure Conte will be playing,
Spence.
He probably played Spence, won't
he? Spence will play.
Yeah, 100%.
And he'll be surrounded by 10 other defenders, probably from the youth team.
Yeah. All right, Eds, I'm not going to bother coming to you because there's a couple more questions. I want to rattle through them, but I'll come to you with the next question. Kay says, hope you're okay, says, I'll just aim this at Ez. Do you think last season's Forest would be our current team?
Oh, yeah. I think quite comfortably as well. Yeah, unfortunately, I believe it would. I think some of our players have flattered to deceive so far. But there was a passion about that team. There was a commitment. There was a understanding around that team. With no little amount of talent as well. We had talented players in there. I think actually they would. They came up against each other in a cup game. I think the last season's team would win it quite handsomely, to be honest.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. This question has to be for Ant. Keith asks, how would Brian Clough's talk to Lingard go? I'll start you off. Now you young man, I pay you to ...
Fucking play. That's all he needs to say.
And that's pretty much all the questions. So we've only run over by 23 minutes. Guys, one final reminder, please. Ez, get the count up while I tell them to go and please subscribe to Rad's sorry, why did I call you Ez? Go subscribe to Rad's channel, please. It's in the link.
Yes.
Just hit that link. Subscribe if you're not already. I know a lot of you are, but for those of you who are a little lazy, there is a few of you, please do hit that. And then also hit the like button on this video and go follow Ez and Forest Ant on Twitter. Their links are in the description as well. Rads, what's the official number? How much have we moved?
We've gained 6 last 1 hour 24. So,
so what are we on then, Rads? What's the actual number?
3,938.
3,938. So 12 away from halfway to the half of the 100. We've got to get him to 950.
Yeah. Halfway to what?
One last question, because I love Sci-Fi Monkey. He's a top bloke. If Lingard scores tomorrow, is all forgiven?
Of course it is. We're fans. We're football fans.
What if he scores when we're 2-0 down and we lose 2-1?
Fuck him.
I fully agree with Anne. If he scores and gets the winner, all is forgiven because we're Forest fans.
Until next
all we
week.
care about is
Until
winning.
next
Yeah.
week, anyway.
Yeah. Until I do my analysis video and then absolutely lay into him. But yeah. All right,
Well,
guys.
as long as he go on. Sorry, I was going to say, as long as he comes on as a sub and does it and doesn't start the game, then that all is forgiven, you know. So yeah,
Wouldn't that be
he'll come
great?
on
Wouldn't that
as
be
a
great if you came on 5 minutes from the end and
and
scored
scored
the
a
winner?
worldie? Yeah, I'll take it.
We'd all
Then
be
all
doing
is
it.
forgiven.
Yeah, I've been doing that one like that with the middle finger. All right, guys. Quick reminder: tomorrow, no watch along tomorrow, but I will do the player ratings once I get back home.
No, I've
we'll
got
do
to
that
suffer
live.
his bloody. I've got to suffer his watch along commentary tomorrow.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
you do. You'll get it. Yeah, you know, people pay for that, mate. People pay for that stuff. I'll be at the game. Probably we'll be down at the ground about 1 o'clock ish, depending on traffic and everything. I might do a ride along live stream while I'm driving up. If you guys want to keep me company at about 11:30ish, something like that. I don't know if the reception will hold. I've never done it. We'll try it. I'll probably get arrested by the police for doing it, but maybe we'll do that. And then Rads, when's your vlog going to be out? Home game probably tomorrow. Or will it be Sunday?
Be out in the evening for the game. So I thought,
Yep.
I don't know, 9 o'clock maybe at night. So stay tuned.
Okay.
Yeah.
So guys, notifications on for Rads' channel as well, so you don't miss that. Make sure you like his videos when they come up as well. Look,
Please do.
we may get a fan forum in tomorrow. If not, we'll do it Sunday, but we'll see how the time frames goes. It depends when I can get Ant off my leg because he loves me too much and won't let me go. So we will see you tomorrow at the game. For those of you who are coming, please do come and say hi to us. I'm looking forward to meeting all of you. Forest are going to win. My prediction is 3-1. Yes, 3 goals in the game. I know I'm crazy, but I'm very tired as well at the moment. Maybe that's what's talking. We will see you tomorrow, guys. Thank you so much to the lovely panel who are just as amazing as
Bro, can I
always.
just say, just so, to let people know, if they do want to come and meet us, we'll be around the club shop from 1 o'clock onwards, hopefully. So fingers crossed. If you do want to come and say hello, there's, well, he'll be, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Game
Ed will
away,
be down the other end of the Trent.
I won't be there, but we'll see.
Mark,
but yeah, that'll be very, very good.
Just mark on this one. Because of work this week, I didn't get time to do the predictor stream. I apologize. So please, it's a good reminder. Everyone get your predictions in the league. The link's in the description below. Don't miss out on the points. So get it in there. Nice lesson. Okay, there goes my demonetization again.
All the illusion is gone now.
On that note, guys.
Sat here in my pants.
On that note, guys, come on, you Reds. We'll see you tomorrow.
I just want to know.
You're